Hello again, everybody. Alan Patton from Irvin Park in Tuscola. We're getting set to bring you regional tournament baseball action on DouglasCountyDigest.com. It's the Tuscola Warriors hosting the Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond Knights. And the first pitch to the leadoff batter, Jeremy Plank, is a called strike. Jeremy Plank, Avery Schrock, Andy Webb, Evan Siegmiller, Tyler Schuring, Ross Ryan, Justin Hayes, Noah Yantis, and Andrew Jameson, the batting order for the Knights. Next pitch to Plank is a ball, and the count is even at 1-1. Next pitch is low for a ball, and the count is 2-1. Cameron Westjohn, right-hander, is on the mound for the Warriors. We'll give you their defense in just a moment. The 2-1 pitch, called strike on the inside corner just above the knee, and the count is even at 2-2 strikes. Ball got away from the Warrior catcher, Tristan Williams. Avery Schrock, the on-deck man, rushed over to pick it up. And we've got a 2-2 count to the leadoff batter. The next pitch swung on and missed. Strike three.
Down on strikes for the first out of the inning. That brings the plate catcher, Avery
And with
Schrock.
One out, the batter is Avery Schrock, the catcher. Right-hand hitter. We saw him pitching against Villa Grove earlier in the season. Here's the pitch by Westjohn. Outside for a ball. Home plate umpires, Paul Gagne of Taylorville. He's behind the plate. Rick Keller of Effingham working the bases today. And the count is 1-1 strike to Avery Schrock with Andy Webb in the on-deck circle for the Knights. Curveball, breaking pitch in there for a strike. And Westjohn gets ahead of the number 2 hitter for the Knights. 1-2 strikes. Nobody on, 1 out. We're in the top of the first. Pitch is high for a ball. Count is even at 2-2. Outfield straight away. Right fielder and left fielder kind of pulled toward the line, so there's a pretty good sized gap in right field, right center, and left center.
Goes down swinging for the
and
second
Schrock
out.
goes down
That brings the plate center fielder,
swinging for
Andy
the second
Webb.
out. That'll bring up Andy Webb, the center fielder. Andy is senior. Came in last check batting about .395 for the Knights. Base is empty, 2 outs. We're in the top of the first from Irvin Park in Tuscola. Here's a fly ball by Webb. Left fielder Austin Martin going back, and it's over the fence for a home run.
Andy Webb with the home run puts the Knights on top, 1-0.
Looked like Webb kind of hit that off the handle of the bat, like he was jammed a little bit. But with the aluminum bats, you can still hit the ball a good distance off the handle. So Webb puts the Knights ahead 1-0 with a 2-out home run.
Now batting for the Knights, shortstop Evan Siegmiller.
That'll bring up Evan Siegmiller, the shortstop. He's a senior. He's driven in 17 runs on the season at last check. We did not see him against Villa Grove. He was on a senior trip. Here's the line shot. Nice diving catch by Tommy Watson, the second baseman.
Tommy Watson for the 3rd out of the inning.
So in the first for the Knights,
first inning, they had
1 run
on 1 base hit.
1 hit, no errors, and nobody left.
At the end of
We played a half inning in this regional tournament game, and the score is Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond 1, Tuscola 0. Back at Irvin Park, we get ready to go to the bottom half of the first inning. It'll be Dan Yoakum, Tommy Watson, and Nolan Walsh lead it off for the Warriors. They'll be facing left-handed sophomore Tyler Schuring on the mound for the Knights. Here's the first pitch on the way, and Yoakum takes it high and away for a ball. Yoakum, Watson, Walsh, Westjohn, Nick Bates, Devin Rose, Tristan Williams, Austin Martin, and Zach Bates. Ball 2 the count. Yoakum takes that out of the strike zone. Here's the 2-0 pitch. High for ball 3. And Yoakum, who is a threat to run, is ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Schuring looks in for the sign from his catcher, Avery Schrock. The 3-0 pitch, called strike, and the count is 3-1. Jeremy Plank in left, Andy Webb in center, Noah Yantis in right for the Knights. Here's a pitch on the outside corner, and the count is full. Around the infield, third to first, Ross Ryan, Evan Siegmiller, Andrew Jameson, and Justin Hayes. Avery Schrock behind the plate. And the 3-2 pitch to Yoakum is a called strike 3.
Called out on strike for the first out of the inning.
And that'll bring up Tommy Watson,
for the Warriors,
the second baseman.
Tommy Watson.
Watson, a sophomore, right-hand hitter. Outfield for Arthur Lovington, Atwood Hammond, pretty much the same as Tuscola's. Center fielder shaded a bit toward left. Good sized gap in left center, a bigger gap in right center. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Watson. He takes it high for a ball, and the count is 2-0. So Schrock has fallen behind the first 2 hitters. He came back to get Yoakum looking at a called third strike. And there's a called strike on Watson. The count is 2-1. Nolan Walsh, center fielder in the on-deck circle for the Warriors. Here's a pitch fouled off to the screen, and the count is even at 2-2. Arthur Lovington, Atwood Hammond with a run in the top of the first on a home run by Andy Webb. And the Warriors, with nobody on and 1 out, the pitch in the dirt. And for the second consecutive batter, Schuring has gone to a full count. Watson, probably the leading hitter average-wise. Here's one right through the middle, and it goes into center field for a base hit.
Watson reaches first base safely on a base hit up the middle.
Went right through the legs of Tyler Schuring and dribbled out into center field.
Hitting for the Warriors, center fielder, number 9, Nolan Walsh.
So that'll bring up Nolan Walsh. Walsh, right-hand hitter, a senior. And Schuring will go to the stretch with Watson on at first and 1 out. Here's the pitch. Walsh takes it high and away for a ball. Wes John in the on-deck circle, the Warrior pitcher for this afternoon. Another beautiful day for baseball. Sunny, warm. Here's a throw to first. Runner back in time. Yoakum was called out on strikes. Watson singled right up the middle. And we have a 1-0 count on Nolan Walsh, the number 3 hitter for Coach Duff Hole. Here's a pitch called a strike, and the count is even at 1-1. Duff Hole coaching down at third for the Warriors. Caleb Engelhardt down at first base. Here's a stretch by Schuring. Look over at the runner. Watson's going. The pitch swung on and missed. The throw to second base is off the mark.
Watson steals second.
And Tommy Watson has a stolen base. So the Warriors with a runner in scoring position, chance to tie the ball game. 1-2 the count to Walsh. Schuring looks in for the sign. Here's the stretch. The pitch by Schuring to Walsh. Inside, ball gets away to the backstop. Catcher still trying to find the baseball. He finally locates it. And the wild pitch will move Watson to third. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. Schuring looks in from the stretch, the pitch. Outside for a ball. 3 batters, 3 times, the full count by Schuring. 1 strikeout, 1 hit, and 1 walk as Walsh draws a base on balls.
Putting runners at first and third. That brings to the plate pitcher, number 12, Cam Westjohn.
And now Craig Moffitt, the head coach of the Knights, will go out to the mound to talk to his pitcher and his infield. Warriors have runners at the corners with one out. After a leadoff strikeout by Yoakum, Watson singled up the middle, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and Nolan Walsh walked on a 3-2 count. Wes John, the pitcher for the Warriors, played first base last week when we saw them against Salt Fork.
Just meet that ball, it'll go a mile.
Runners at the corner for Tuscola with one out, with a chance to tie up the ball game and maybe take a lead. Wes John steps in, right-hand hitter stands deep in the box. The stretch by Schuring. They have Walsh picked up between first and second. He slides in ahead of the throw, and Watson comes home.
Double steal. Watson coming across the plate.
Walsh was going
at one apiece.
Schuring through to first. The throw from the first baseman Hayes to the second baseman Jameson was late, so a double steal ties the ball game, and it puts another runner in scoring position for the Warriors. No count, no pitch yet to the plate. Here's Schuring going to the belt, looks back at the runner. The first pitch on the way, called strike to Wes John. That's the first time Schuring has gotten his first pitch across for a strike. Schuring looks back at the runner. Here's the pitch. Curved ball breaks low, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Nick Bates, the right fielder, in the on-deck circle for the Warriors. Stretch by Schuring. The pitch on the way. Fouled off behind the Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond dugout. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nolan Walsh on at second. We have one out of a tie ball game. Here in the bottom of the first. There's a breaking pitch, drops in there for a strike.
Wes John looks at strike 3.
And Walsh is called out on strikes, or rather Wes John is called out on strikes
Nick Bates.
for the second out. That'll bring up Nick Bates, the right fielder for the Warriors today. We saw him pitch last week against Salt Fork. Left-hand hitter. Now Schuring steps off and Walsh goes back to the bag at second. Here's a stretch by Schuring. The pitch to the lefty. Ball 1 to Bates. Center fielder playing right up the middle. Right fielder shaded a little bit toward the line. In right, left fielder a little bit farther off the line. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back. And the count is even at a ball and a strike. One the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first of a tie ball game. Here's the pitch by Schuring. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Looked like Schuring took a little bit off that one. And Bates was out ahead of it. 300 down the lines, 315 to center field here at Irvin Park. Schuring looks back to pitch. Ooh, fouled into the dugout. Managed to find the door in the dugout and sent the bench scattering for the Warriors. Not a lot of room in the dugout, so you're basically running into each other. Here's the stretch, the 1-2 pitch, high and inside, and the count is even at a ball and 2 strikes. Got a group of about 7 or 8, probably students, popping their heads up above the center field fence. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball up the arm of the first baseman into right field. Here comes Walsh around to score. And the Tuscola Warriors take a 2-0 lead.
Comes around on the error by the first baseman.
Official score going to call that an error.
2-1.
First baseman tried to backhand the ground ball. It rolled up his arm and into right field. And the next batter for Tuscola is the third baseman, Devin Rose. Rose is a junior. Runner at first. Throw to first.
Now batting for the Warriors, third baseman,
Runner back
Devin
in time.
Rose.
Tristan Williams, the catcher, in the on-deck circle. Tuscola taking a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. And the count is 1-0. So Schuring has had trouble finding the strike zone. He's only thrown a strike on the first pitch to one batter. Throw over to first, runner back in time. Rose awaiting the pitch. Called strike just above the belt. And the count is 1-1 strike. After a leadoff strikeout, Watson singled up the middle, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch. Then after a walk to Walsh, here's a swing and a miss for strike two. Walsh looked like he was picked off at first, but managed to beat the tag at second. Watson scored on the stolen double steal. And then Walsh scored on a ground ball by Bates that was mishandled by the first baseman. 1-2 the count. Here's the runner going at first, and the pitch is fouled back to the screen. So Bates will have to turn around and go back to first base. Count remains 1-2 to the sixth place hitter for the Tuscola Warriors, who come in with a record of 10, 14, and 1. Here's a pitch outside, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of pitches thrown here in the early going by Schuring. Here's the stretch by the left-hander. The pitch swung on and missed. So Schuring strikes out the side.
Third out of the inning.
But in the inning, Tuscola comes up with a couple runs.
On one base hit. There was one error.
One hit, one error, and one left. So we come to the end of the first inning of play at Irvin Park in Tuscola. And the Warriors lead the Knights of Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond by a score of 2-1. We go to the second inning. Leading off for the Knights in the top of the second will be their pitcher, Tyler Schuring. He'll be followed by the third baseman, Ross Ryan, and the first baseman, Justin Hayes. Cameron Westjohn on the mound for Tuscola. First pitch is in low for a ball. Schuring, a sophomore, batting .462 on the season. Here's the next pitch. Called strike on the inside corner. And the coin is a ball and a strike. Count is a ball and a strike. Craig Moffitt coaching at third base for the Knights. Dale Schuring down at first. Here's a pitch, line drive. Skips past the shortstop in this left field for a base hit.
Schuring gets the base hit to left field, lead off the inning.
Yoakum
That brings the play.
tried to backhand it.
Ryan.
Kind of a sinking line drive that skipped past him into left field for the leadoff single. That'll bring up Ross Ryan, the third baseman for the Knights. Right-hand hitter. Schuring taking the lead. Westjohn glances over, throws over. And Schuring is back in plenty of time. Nobody out, runner at first. We're in the top of the second here at Irvin Park. Class 2A regional baseball action on DouglasCountyDigest.com. Here's the pitch called strike, and the count goes to 0-1 to Ryan with Justin Hayes in the on-deck circle. Wes John, right-handed pitcher. Third baseman Devin Rose playing in on the grass, anticipating a bunt, throw to first, runner back in time. Tucker Robinson playing first base this afternoon for the Warriors, and Zach Bates batting for him as the designated hitter. 0-1 the count, another throw to first, runner back in time. Robinson slaps the tag on Tyler Schuring's back just to make sure he's not going anywhere. Wes John, right-hander, looks in for the sign from Tristan Williams. Goes to the belt. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Quick throw to first. And the runner's back in time. Just eluded the tag. Schuring went back in standing up. Tucker Robinson made kind of a swipe tag, and he says he got him. Umpire had a different opinion, and that's the one that counts. 0-2 the count to Ryan. The stretch by Wes John. Pitch on the way. Schuring's going. Swung on and missed. Throw down to second is not in time. Off the mark. And Schuring has a stolen base.
Tyler Schuring is safe into second with a stolen base.
That's the third strikeout.
We have one out
for Wes John in the ball game.
First baseman Justin Hayes.
And that'll bring up the first baseman Justin Hayes. Looked like the throw was in time, just kind of off to the right field side. And maybe Dan Yoakum couldn't get the tag on the base runner. So the Knights with a runner in scoring position. Hayes, the batter, fouls the first pitch off to the right side. And the count is 0-1. Wes John's started only 2 of the 7 people he's faced with a ball. Here's a stretch and a called strike. And the count is 0-2. Hayes, the number 7 hitter, looks down to Craig Moffitt for the sign. Knights 7-11-1 on the season. Here's the pitch by Wes John, high and inside for a ball, and the count is 1-2. Pretty good sized gaps in right center and left center for the Warriors. Center fielder Nolan Walsh just shaded a bit toward left. Here's the pitch, high and inside, ball 2, and the count is even. Had 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's like Nick Bates in left playing in line with the second baseman in right. Here's the stretch by Wes John. Look back at the runner. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3.
Hayes swings and misses.
And there are 2 out in the top of the second.
Second out of the inning.
4 strikeouts
right fielder,
for
Noah Yantis.
Wes John, and that'll bring up Noah Yantis, the right fielder, 8th place hitter for Craig Moffitt. Here's the pitch on the way. Popped up short left center field. Shortstop going out. And Dan Yoakum makes the catch to retire the side.
Shortstop for the 3rd out of the inning.
For the Knights in the top of the second.
No runs on 1 base hit.
No runs,
no errors,
1 hit,
1 man left.
no errors, and a runner left.
1.5 innings, Tuscola
We go to the
2.
bottom of the second. Tuscola leads by a score of 2-1 over the Knights of Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond. We head to the bottom half of the second inning at Urban Park in Tuscola. Leading off for the Warriors will be their catcher, Tristan Williams. He'll be followed by Austin Martin and Zach Bates. Tyler Schuring on the mound for the Knights. He gave up a couple runs in the bottom of the first inning on 1 hit. He struck out the side, but he also gave up a hit and walked a runner. First pitch is high and away for a ball. Williams, right-hand hitter. Pitch on the way, and it's high for ball 2. So Schuring still having a little difficulty finding the strike zone right now. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Called strike at the letters. And the count is 2-1. Schuring into the windup, the pitch high for a ball, and the count is 3-1. Well, if you're a fan of throwback uniforms, you're going to love this game. Knights look like the old Cincinnati Reds. The Warriors look like the old Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's a pitch inside.
Williams draws the base on ball.
And Williams picks up the second walk allowed by Tyler Schrock. That'll bring up the left fielder, Austin Martin.
Left fielder, Austin Martin.
Martin with a couple home runs this season. Right-hand hitter. I think Nick Bates, the only left-hand hitter we've seen so far in the ball game. Schuring to the belt. First pitch, strike at the knees. And he jumps ahead of the Warriors' number 8 hitter. Center fielder shades a little bit toward right this time, even with the right-hand hitter. Martin squared as if to bunt, pulled back, and the pitch was a called strike. And the count is 0-2. So Martin could find some room if he hits it to left center. Here's the stretch, the pitch on the way by Schuring. First to throw to first. And the runner's back. Of course, Schuring, left-handed hitter, looking right at that base runner, so you've got to make sure he's going to the plate before you take off. Here's a pitch, popped up on the right side of home plate, and it goes out of play. And the count holds it 0-2. So we said there's some students instead of watching the game from center field, they have kind of a black fabric in the center field area. It used to be, before they put that up, students would park out there and tailgate, watch the game from out there.
Martin's called out on strikes for the first out.
And Martin takes a strike for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for the Warriors, designated hitter Zach Bates.
1 out, runner at first. That'll bring up Zach Bates, the DH today. All the outs recorded by the Knights have been strikeouts by Travis Schuring. Here's the first pitch. Bates swings and misses for strike 1. Warriors got 2 runs in the first inning, after the Knights picked up 1 in the top half of the first. Schuring looks in for the sign from Avery Schrock. Goes to the belt, the pitch on the way. Called strike 2. Well, he's starting to find the strike zone on the last couple hitters. Martin was retired on 4 pitches. And the count to Bates is 0-2. Here's a throw over to first. Got away from the first baseman, Justin Hayes, but not far enough for Martin to try to advance. 0-2 the count to Bates, to Zach Bates, with Dan Yoakum on deck. Here's the runner going. Pitch called strike on the inside corner. And the runner is thrown out at second.
Strikes, and Williams is caught stealing.
Strike him out, throw him out. For the third out of the inning.
There were no runs on no hits.
In the second for Tuscola, no runs, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played 2 innings, and the score, Tuscola 2, Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond 1.
In the top of the 3rd inning.
Coming up first for the Knights of Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond in the top of the 3rd inning will be their number 9 hitter, Andrew Jamison. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Jeremy Plank and Avery Schrock. Tuscola leading 2-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. First pitch is a called strike. And the count to Jamison, 0-1 to lead it off here in the 3rd. Right-hand hitter facing right-handed pitcher. He fouls the next pitch straight back to the screen. I know we're supposed to feel safe with that screen in front of us, but It's all, I think that screen wire is probably close to 50 years old, so I don't know.
75.
0-2 the count. Swung on, tipped into the catcher's glove.
Jameson strikes out swinging.
And Jameson strikes out for the first out of the inning. That's the fifth strikeout for Cameron Westjohn. That'll bring up Jeremy Plank, the left fielder. Plank went down swinging to lead off the ball game. Here's a fly ball into right center field. Nick Bates comes over, makes the catch. And there are 2 up and 2 down.
Right field for the second out.
In the third inning.
Now batting for the Knights, catcher Avery Schrock.
That'll bring up Avery Schrock, the catcher. He struck out in the first inning. Knights got a run in the first on a solo homer by Andy Webb with 2 out. Tuscola got 2 of their own in the bottom of the first, and that's where we stand right now. 2-1 Tuscola. First round action in the Tuscola Regional 2A baseball tournament. Noticed a contingent from Paris here. They will take on the winner of this game Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. Here's a pitch low and the count is 3-0. Other first round game today taking place at Pana. Sullivan playing at Pana. The winner of that game will play Shelbyville at 4:30 Wednesday afternoon. 3-0 pitch is a called strike, and the count is 3-1. That'll be followed at about 7 o'clock by the Paris game against the winner of this contest. Wednesday's winner will play for the regional championship Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. 3-1 pitch fouled back to the screen, and the count is full at 3-2. Here's a little tap down the third base line, and the count remains full at 3-2. Winner of this regional will take on, advanced to the Teutopolis sectional tournament. Here's a pop-up on the right side. Second baseman ranges over toward the line, and he makes the catch for the third out.
Second baseman for the third out of the inning.
Looked like Tucker Robinson, the first baseman, had a little trouble finding that one, but
after 2.5, Warriors
the second baseman, Andrew Jameson, or the second baseman rather, Tommy Watson, ranged over to make the catch. And the Knights go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the third inning here at Tuscola with the score: Tuscola 2, Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond 1.
The Warriors in their half of the third inning.
Coming up from Tuscola will be the top of the order, Dan Yoakum. He'll be followed by Tommy Watson and Nolan Walsh as the Warriors start their second time through the lineup against Travis Schuring, the sophomore left-hander for the Knights. Yoakum was called out on strikes in the first inning. That was the first of 5 strikeouts for Travis Schuring so far in the ball game. Schuring looks in for the sign, the left-hander wheels and deals, and the first pitch is a strike. Tuscola with 2 in the bottom of the first. Next pitch high and away for a ball. And the count is 1-1. Atwood Hammond, Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond. Does it matter which order they come in? Probably do to somebody, but here's a pitch low for a ball, and the count is 2-1. And the pitch on the way high for ball 3. That's why I'm saying Knights as often as I can. Knights got a run on a home run in the top of the first. Tuscola scored 2 in the bottom, and that's where we are right now in the bottom half of the third inning with Tuscola leading 2-1. The pitch on the way, high for a ball.
Dan Yoakum draws the leadoff walk.
And Yoakum walks. That now is the
second baseman Tommy Watson.
Third walk given up by Travis Schuring. And it brings up Tommy Watson. Tommy has Tuscola's only hit of the ball game. Single up the middle in the first. Yoakum a threat to go. Here's a pitch high and away. Watson squared as if he was going to bunt the ball, but he would need a large ladder to get to bunt that one, especially if he's going to bunt it down. Ball one the count. Here's the stretch by Shuri. Throw to first. Runner back in time. He said Yoakum a threat to go. 18 stolen bases at last check. Sure, he got some over the weekend. Here's a fake by the runner. Pitch is a ball. And the runner back in time on the throw from the catcher to the first baseman, Justin Hayes. 2-0 the count to Watson. Nolan Walsh on deck. Shuring looks over at first. From the belt, here's the runner going. Pitch is called strike. And Yoakum slides in head first with the stolen base.
Yoakum slides in safely with the stolen base.
4 stolen bases in 5 attempts for the Warriors this afternoon. They had one runner thrown out last inning on the back end of a strike him out, throw him out double play. 2-1 the count. Watson again looked like he was going to bunt. Here's a throw back to second base. Yoakum is back in time, and the count is 3-1 to Tommy Watson. Right-handed hitting, sophomore second baseman. Saw some action last year for the Warriors in their run to the state championship game where they lost to Effingham St. Anthony. Here's the stretch, the pitch. Watson bunts it out in front of the plate. Shuring throws over to first. And the sacrifice works.
Moving Yoakum to third for 1 out.
So 1 out. That'll bring up Nolan Walsh. The runner at third and 1 away.
Center fielder Nolan Walsh.
Chance for the Warriors to get another run here in the third inning. They lead it 2-1. Shuring pitching from the windup now. And the pitch is high and away for a ball. With a left-handed hitter or left-handed pitcher and a runner on third, that might be the best way to do it, especially if there's a squeeze attempt. Shuring steps off, bakes over to third, and the runner's back in time. Pitch on the way to Walsh. Low and away for a ball, and the count is 2-0. Two balls, no strikes to Nolan Walsh. He walked and scored in the first. Here's a line drive into right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. One run is going to score. And Tuscola takes a 3-1 lead.
Right field. Scoring Dan Yoakum. Makes the score Warriors 3, Knights 1.
Yoakum
batting for the Warriors, pitcher
comes
Cameron
in to score easily. And that'll bring up Cameron Westjohn, the pitcher. He was a strikeout victim the first time up. Runner at first. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. First pitch to Westjohn is a strike. Called by the home plate umpire Paul Gagne. Here's the stretch by Shuring. Look at the runner. Pitch in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, over to the screen. And Walsh
second base on the wild pitch.
Goes to second, wild pitch charge to Shuring. And the count is even at a ball and a strike. 1 out, runner at second. We're in the bottom of the third inning at Irvin Park in Tuscola. A lot of activity going on today. Here's another fly ball, right center field. That's going to go back, and that's up against the fence. Walsh rounds third. He's going to go into the plate. Sliding into second base with a double is Westjohn.
The right field, scoring Nolan Walsh. Make the score 4-1.
And Tuscola takes a 4-1 lead here in the bottom of the third inning.
We have a courtesy runner for pitcher Cameron Westjohn.
Running
Jackson
for
McCrory, running at second base.
For Tuscola at second is Jackson McCrory. He's a courtesy runner, running for the pitcher. You can have a courtesy runner come in for the pitcher or the catcher. Can't be the same person, but you can have a runner for the pitcher and the catcher if they get on base. Craig Moffitt back out to talk to Travis Shuring. And the batter is Nick Bates, the right fielder for the Warriors. He reached on an error.
Batting for the Warriors, right fielder Nick Bates.
He hit a ball that ran up the arm of the first baseman that allowed a run to score. Here's a stretch by Shuring, the pitch to Bates. Called strike on the inside corner. He started to back out, but the umpire called it a strike. Well, or rather, McCrory, the runner at second base, 1 out, 2 runs in for the Warriors. Here's the pitch on the way. Foul back to the screen, and the count is 0-2. At the diamond behind, or to the north of this diamond, a couple Little League teams warming up for a game. And beyond that, Tuscola also hosting a Class 2A softball regional. Here's a pitch low for a ball, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. I believe Tuscola is hosting Sullivan in that game. Here's a pitch. Sharp grounder to the right field, and get past the right fielder. 1 run is going to score. Bates comes around second. He's headed for third. The throw to third base is not in time, and Bates is in at third.
Nick Bates drives in.
He hit that sharply past the first baseman
on the air
into right field,
making the score 5-1.
I'm going to call it a base hit and a 2-base error on the right fielder. Ball was kind of hard for it looked like it was hit hard for the first baseman to handle. It went into right field and skipped past Noah Yantis. That scored a run and took Bates over to third. First pitch to Devin Rose is a strike, or rather called strike. There's a swing and a miss. And the count is 0-2. Runner at third, 1 out for the Warriors. 3 runs are in. Here's a pitch fouled off into the screen over on the first base side. And the count is 0-2 to the Warriors' number 6 hitter, Devin Rose. Playing third base this afternoon for Coach Duff Hole. Stretched by Shuring, the pitch. High and away for a ball, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Three hits for the Warriors this inning, a walk and an error have helped contribute to the 3-run inning. Here's a pitch inside, and the count is 2-2. Trying to see who might be at Craig Moffitt's disposal here in the ball game. Of course, the loser is out, so it's pretty much anybody that can get the ball up to the plate will be called on for the Knights today. Three-two count. Runner at third for the Knights. Now Rose steps out of the box. Here's a fly ball to right field. Right fielder can't find it, and it's gone. Over the right field fence at the 300-foot mark. Devin Rose with a 2-run homer over the 300-foot mark in right field. And the Warriors have taken a 7-1 lead over the Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond Knights.
7, Knights 1.
And now Craig Moffitt coming out, and that is going to be it for Tyler Shuring. And it looks like Evan Siegmiller will take the mound for the Knights. So we have a pitching change here in Tuscola in the bottom half of the third inning, with the Warriors leading by a score of 7-1, and we'll be back right after this break. New pitcher for the Knights is senior right-hander Evan Siegmiller.
Batting for the Warriors, catcher Tristan Williams.
And the first Tuscola batter to face Siegmiller will be the catcher Tristan Williams. He walked in the second, was thrown out trying to steal. The first pitch was low for a ball. Ball 1 the count. When we saw the Knights against Villa Grove a few weeks ago, here's a ground ball up the middle. Second baseman has it and throws over to first for the second out of the inning.
Williams grounds out to the second baseman. That's second out of the inning.
Avery Schrock did the pitching for the Knights in that game.
Now batting left fielder Austin Martin.
Don't know how long it's been since the Knights have been in action, so don't know how much rest Schrock has had, if he's needed. Brings up Austin Martin with the bases empty and 2 out. The first pitch is in the dirt for a ball. But as we said, this is an all hands on deck situation for both teams. Lose and you're done. Pack up the equipment and have a nice summer, guys. 1 ball to count to Austin Martin. Struck out on a called third strike. Up, takes a pitch high, and the count is 2-0. Shoring went 6 innings. Gave up 5 hits, 7 runs, with 5 strikeouts and 3 walks. Here's the pitcher. Pitch inside and high for a ball. And the count 3-0. We said we didn't see Siegmiller the first time we saw the Knights against Villa Grove. And Martin walks on 4 straight pitches. He was on a
batting designated hitter,
senior trip with the Arthur Lovington seniors. And with a runner at first and 2 out, the batter is Zach Bates, the designated hitter. He was called out on strikes. Here's the pitch by Siegmiller, inside for a ball. 1 ball. No strikes to count to Zach Bates. Right-hand hitters. Looks in. Here's the pitch by Siegmiller. Runner at first, Martin bluffed as if he would go, but held up. And the count is 2-0 to Zach Bates with Dan Yoakum on deck. Bates, the 9th batter to bat to come to the plate here in the 3rd inning for Tuscola. Here's a pitch low in the dirt for a ball, and the count 3-0. So Siegmiller has thrown 1 strike in the first 8 pitches. That was a ground ball out. Here's the stretch, the pitch on the way. High for ball 4, and another walk for the Warriors.
Putting runners at first and second for leadoff man.
That'll bring up the 10th man to bat this
Number
inning.
2, shortstop Dan Yoakum.
The shortstop, Dan Yoakum. Yoakum has struck out and walked and scored. Siegmiller having a talk with his shortstop, Andy Webb, and the catcher, Avery Schrock. Tyler Shoring, the starting pitcher, now playing center field for the Knights. Webb came in from center to play short. Here's the stretch. Siegmiller looks back at the runner at second. The pitch, called strike. And he jumps ahead of the leadoff hitter for the Warriors in their batting order, Dan Yoakum. Here's the pitch, called strike 2. And Siegmiller looks like he's finally finding the strike zone after struggling to the first few batters. Here's the pitch, runners going. Pitches a ball, throw to third, everybody's safe.
The Warriors pull off a double steal. Three runners at second and third.
Martin headed for third. Bates trailed and slid into second. The count 1-2. Here's a pitch popped up to right field. Right fielder coming in, and Noah Yantis
flies out to the
makes
right
the catch to retire the side.
For the
10 hitters come to the plate for Tuscola.
On 4 base hits.
They pick up 5 runs.
In the inning and 2 men left. After 3 innings of play, the Warriors 7, Knights 1.
5 runs in the inning, and after 3 full, it's Tuscola 7 and Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond 1.